In the Peruvian Andes, encased in 50,000-year-old ice, lies an artifact that should not exist. Impossible alloy, nanoscale precision, mathematical equations at the atomic level. Mainstream archaeology dismisses it, but the evidence is undeniable. There's so much more to this story.
Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? It's a frigid dawn high in the Peruvian Andes, and you're carefully making your way through a remote, echoing ice cave, the air thin and sharp, biting at your exposed skin. Each breath misting before you, you follow the beam of your headlamp deeper into a crystalline labyrinth, the silence broken only by the drip of melting ice and the crunch of your boots on the ancient frozen floor. You are here to witness an anomaly, a discovery so profound it could dismantle the very foundations of our understanding of human civilization. You approach the designated site, a natural alcove where a team of glaciologists made an astonishing find. There it is, a smooth, obsidian dark object, roughly the size of a human skull, partially encased in a layer of ice tens of thousands of years old. Its surface, though dulled by millennia, hints at an alloy unlike any known to have been processed by ancient Andean cultures, its composition suggesting materials of extreme hardness and purity. What immediately arrests your gaze are the intricate, almost microscopic engravings that cover its spherical form, suggesting a precision machining far beyond pre-Columbian capabilities. The geological stratum it was painstakingly extracted from, a glacial ice core, officially attributes its resting place to an epoch preceding any recognized complex human civilization in the Americas by tens of thousands of years. Mainstream consensus claims such an object must be a geological anomaly, a highly unusual meteorite, or perhaps a much later intrusion into the ancient ice, despite clear evidence of its deep-seated integration within undisturbed layers. However, closer examination reveals no impact markings typical of a meteorite, and the uniform composition, along with the precise geometric patterns, challenges any notion of a natural origin. What they don't tell you is how its structure seems to echo a highly sophisticated, yet unknown, form of metallurgy, defying all conventional timelines. This artifact, often referred to cryptically as the Ice Sphere of Caral, by those who've seen it, remains largely unexamined in mainstream archaeological circles, stored away in a specialized, temperature-controlled facility. As the first rays of sun finally touch the cave's entrance, casting long, ethereal shadows, you ponder, how did such an object come to rest in the frozen heart of the Andes, defying all conventional timelines and our understanding of human technological evolution? What lost knowledge does this silent sphere guard, frozen in time? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? Still within the hushed sanctity of the Andean ice cave, the frigid air now feels less biting as you focus intently on the object before you. With specialized, non-invasive tools, you carefully free the obsidian dark sphere from its ancient ice matrix, the brittle crackle echoing softly in the vast chamber. As you finally lift it, you are immediately struck by its profound density, far heavier than any known natural rock of its size, defying its modest, skull-like dimensions. The chill of the object seeps through your protective gloves, a testament to its millennia in the frozen depths. You hold it closer, turning it slowly to catch the weak, reflective light from your lamp. Its surface, while appearing smooth from a distance, is a marvel of precision. Run your gloved finger along a hairline groove, and you feel the astonishing regularity of its etching. This isn't the crude work of stone tools, it's a testament to a level of craftsmanship that seems utterly misplaced. The sphere is covered in intricate, repeating geometric patterns, a language of precision etched with a certainty that challenges all known ancient tooling. Materials analysis, conducted discreetly, hinted at a refined metallic composition, a sophisticated alloy of unknown origin that would require advanced metallurgy far beyond what was supposedly available thousands of years ago in this region. Officially attributed by initial, brief reports to an unusual geological formation, mainstream consensus claims such perfect symmetry and detailed inscription are merely natural mineral patterns, an attempt to rationalize the inexplicable rather than re-examine established timelines. However, closer examination reveals no crystalline structure typical of natural rock formations, and the uniform depth and width of the etched lines scream of intelligent design. What they don't tell you is that numerous independent experts, upon viewing the high-resolution scans, privately expressed disbelief that this could be anything but an artificially manufactured object. Its impossible precision, combined with its dating within undisturbed glacial ice, creates a profound cognitive dissonance for conventional archaeology. This crystalline dark orb, a silent sentinel from a forgotten era, seems to mock our carefully constructed historical narratives. How could such an object, demanding advanced material science and engineering, exist buried deep within ice layers dating back to a time when humanity was supposedly still struggling with rudimentary tools? What forgotten civilization, if any, possessed the knowledge to craft such a relic, and what message does its unnerving perfection convey across the chasm of epochs? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? Far from the biting winds of the Andes, you now find yourself in the hushed, sterile environment of a specialized laboratory. The air is still, punctuated only by the low hum of advanced analytical equipment. The obsidian dark sphere, carefully transported, rests beneath the powerful lens of a scanning electron microscope. Your eye presses against the eyepiece, and the microscopic world of its surface blossoms into view, revealing details that were imperceptible to the naked eye. Details that fundamentally challenge everything we thought we knew about early human ingenuity. What you behold under magnification is breathtaking. The engravings are not mere scratches or crude carvings. They are incredibly fine, uniform grooves, perfect geometric patterns that repeat with astonishing precision across the sphere's surface. You trace a single line, following its flawless curve as it intersects another with absolute perpendicularity. There are no telltale signs of hand tooling, no uneven edges, no hesitant starts or stops, no irregularities that would betray human imperfection using primitive methods. Each line, each angle, is executed with a mathematical exactitude that implies a mastery of materials and fabrication utterly absent from the archaeological record of its supposed age. Officially, mainstream consensus claims these microscopic patterns are merely intricate crystalline formations within the anomalous material, a natural geological wonder. However, closer examination, using specialized microprofilometers, reveals a consistent groove depth of mere micrometers, perfectly uniform across the sphere. What they don't tell you is that the material itself, a dense, unidentified alloy, possesses a hardness that would render any pre-Bronze Age tools utterly useless for such work. The precision seen here, experts privately admit, would require forms of machining akin to modern laser etching or ultrasonic vibration, technologies that should not exist in any timeline preceding advanced industrial civilizations. This microscopic architecture, etched into an impossible material, found in impossible geological strata, presents a profound dilemma. It suggests either an unknown natural process mimicking hyper-advanced technology with uncanny accuracy, or the undeniable presence of a pre-civilizational intelligence possessing knowledge and tools far beyond our current understanding. As you pull away from the eyepiece, the implications settle around you like a quiet, unsettling shroud. What forgotten civilization left these microscopic scars on the Ice Sphere of Caral, a testament to a technological prowess that refuses to fit into our textbooks? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The sterile quiet of the laboratory deepens as the mass spectrometer whirs to life, its gentle hum a stark contrast to the profound questions it's poised to answer. You watch intently as a minuscule, almost imperceptible sample, a whisper of dust carefully extracted from the obsidian sphere, is introduced into the chamber. The machine is designed to reveal the atomic fingerprint of materials, to strip away assumptions and present the unvarnished truth of composition. The air is thick with anticipation, the raw data begins to populate the monitor. What scrolls across the screen defies easy explanation. The sphere isn't simply an unknown rock or an unusual meteorite, as mainstream consensus claims. The analysis reveals a complex alloy, a blend of metals including elements with incredibly high melting points, known as refractory metals, combined with others in precise ratios. You see traces of platinum group metals, tungsten, and a surprisingly pure percentage of what appears to be a form of aluminum, all fused in a way that would demand temperatures and atmospheric control achievable only with highly advanced furnaces. This isn't ancient bronze or iron, it's a metallurgical marvel. Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes such findings to geological anomalies or natural formations, dismissing the sophistication as coincidence. However, closer examination of the spectroscopic data reveals a uniform distribution of these elements throughout the sample, strongly indicative of deliberate alloying rather than haphazard natural inclusion. What they don't tell you is that replicating such an alloy, with this level of purity and consistent composition, would challenge even modern foundries. This object would require a command of metallurgy, heat treatment, and casting far beyond anything conventionally ascribed to cultures existing tens of thousands of years ago. The silence of the spectrometer, now finished with its work, seems to underscore the profound implications. This is not simply an out-of-place artifact, it is an impossible artifact, a silent challenge to our entire understanding of ancient technological capabilities. The institutional resistance to re-examining evidence like this often stems from the immense paradigm shift it would demand. How did a civilization, supposedly primitive, possess the knowledge of such advanced materials science to create an alloy that should, by all accounts, not exist at its purported age? What secrets of forgotten metallurgy does the Ice Sphere of Caral still hold, waiting for us to truly comprehend its impossible composition? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? Imagine yourself in a quiet university archive, the air thick with the scent of aging paper and scholarly certainty. You're poring over the glaciological reports from the Andean ice cave, specifically the intricate dating analyses performed on the ice core surrounding the dark sphere. These reports, usually a bastion of irrefutable scientific truth, reveal a chasm in our understanding of time itself when confronted by the anomalous artifact. The layers of glacial ice, officially attributed to an age roughly 45,000 to 50,000 years old through meticulous oxygen isotope analysis and annual layer counting, suggest the sphere has been entombed for an astonishing duration. But here is where the carbon clock begins to whisper a different, unsettling truth. Radiometric dating, while incredibly precise for organic materials, cannot directly date the metallic sphere itself. Its age is inferred from the ancient ice that cradled it. Mainstream consensus claims that while the ice is undeniably ancient, the sphere, an inorganic object, must be a later intrusion. Perhaps it fell into a deep crevasse, or was deposited more recently by geological events, slowly sinking into older ice layers. This neatly sidesteps the profound implications of its true age. However, closer examination of the detailed ice core stratigraphy, the undisturbed, layered record of snowfall and freezing, reveals no evidence of recent intrusion. The ice immediately surrounding the sphere shows a continuous, perfectly preserved formation, almost as if the object was present when those layers of ice accumulated. What they don't tell you is the struggle among glaciologists and archaeologists to reconcile this pristine context with the object's undeniable technological sophistication. If the sphere truly is as old as the ice that encased it, then its creators existed in an epoch where humanity was supposedly wielding only rudimentary stone tools, not crafting advanced alloys with precision machining. This discrepancy in dating, the flawless integration into impossibly old ice, creates a profound rift in our timeline. The institutional resistance to acknowledging this often stems from the immense paradigm shift required to accept a technologically advanced presence tens of thousands of years before the Sumerians, Egyptians, or even Göbekli Tepe. Does the Ice Sphere of Caral merely represent a geological quirk, or does its profound antiquity, enshrined in ice, point to a flaw in our fundamental understanding of humanity's ancient past? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The analytical data from the spectrometer and the microscope now quietly recede, replaced by the crushing weight of a different kind of evidence, the profound antiquity of the glacial ice itself. You find yourself contemplating the sheer scale of geological time, imagining the slow accumulation of snow and ice over millennia, each layer a silent testament to passing epochs. The Ice Sphere of Caral wasn't simply dropped onto a surface, it was found deep within a meticulously dated ice core, surrounded by undisturbed strata dating back approximately 45,000 to 50,000 years, pushing its age far beyond the conventional dawn of complex human civilization. This isn't merely old, this is pre-human asterisk in the widely accepted archaeological narrative. Mainstream consensus claims that while the ice is indeed that ancient, the artifact itself must be a geologically recent anomaly, perhaps a meteorite or a dropstone, that fell into a crevasse and slowly sank through the softer ice, mimicking an impossible antiquity. This perspective, officially attributed to the necessity of preserving our established timelines, often dismisses the uncomfortable details that challenge such an explanation. However, closer examination of the ice core stratigraphy reveals no signs of disturbance, no cracks or fissures that would indicate a recent intrusion. The ice immediately encasing the sphere shows a seamless, compressed formation, suggesting the object was present and stable within the layers as they formed and solidified over tens of thousands of years. What they don't tell you is the quiet desperation among some researchers, wrestling with data that paints a picture of humanity, or some asterisk intelligence, crafting sophisticated objects when our ancestors were still hunter-gatherers struggling for survival in scattered groups. The institutional resistance to re-examining the artifact's age stems from the profound implications. It would mean rewriting not just a chapter, but perhaps the entire book of human history. This object, frozen in time for an almost unthinkable duration, whispers of a past that is far more complex and technologically advanced than our textbooks allow. Does it speak of an unknown, earlier civilization that flourished and faded, leaving behind only this solitary, impossible testament? Or does it hint at a cycle of rise and fall, suggesting that advanced knowledge might be lost and rediscovered across vast stretches of time? How do we reconcile the undeniable evidence of precision and sophisticated metallurgy with an age that predates civilization itself, forcing us to reconsider the true timeline of humanity? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The crisp, dry air of southeastern Turkey invigorates you as the first rays of dawn paint the ancient T-shaped pillars of Göbekli Tepe in hues of gold and ochre. You stand before the iconic, vulture stone, Pillar 43, its weathered limestone cool beneath your fingertips, listening to the soft whisper of the wind weaving through the millennia-old enclosures. This prehistoric sanctuary, dating back over 11,000 years, is a site that should not exist, pushing back the origins of monumental architecture and complex symbolism by thousands of years. But today, you are searching for a specific detail, a haunting echo from another impossible artifact. Your eyes trace the intricate carvings on Pillar 43, not just the famous animal figures, but the subtle, abstract geometric motifs that intertwine amongst them. And then you see it. A repeating, highly stylized pattern of nested squares and intersecting lines, etched with an almost unbelievable uniformity into the hard limestone. It's a motif that resonates deeply with the microscopic precision you observed on the Ice Sphere of Caral in the Andes, a shared geometric language across continents and vast stretches of time. Mainstream archaeology officially attributes the symbols of Göbekli Tepe to the emerging hunter-gatherer societies of the pre-Pottery Neolithic, interpreting them as mythological narratives or territorial markers specific to this region. Mainstream consensus claims any similarities to other, far older artifacts are coincidental pareidolia, a product of our pattern-seeking minds. However, closer examination reveals the exacting, almost manufactured quality of these Göbekli Tepe carvings, especially the abstract geometric elements. What they don't tell you is that the striking similarity in precision and abstract design between this ancient pattern and the impossible etchings on the Andean sphere creates an undeniable, unsettling link. This precise geometric symbol, appearing on a structure that predates agriculture and cities, eerily mirrors the mathematically perfect markings on an alloy sphere tens of thousands of years older, discovered on another continent. It suggests a continuity of knowledge, a shared symbolic language, or perhaps even a common precursor that transmitted these advanced designs across vast chronological and geographical distances. Could these ancient symbols, dismissed as mere art, be fragments of a forgotten universal code, linking disparate anomalies across time and space? What hidden message do they convey, bridging the gap between an 11,000-year-old sanctuary and an artifact buried for 50 millennia? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The morning sun now casts a deeper, warmer glow across the massive T-shaped pillars of Göbekli Tepe, their colossal forms rising from the earth like sentinels from a forgotten age. You stand within one of the largest enclosures, feeling the immensity of the carefully dressed stone, the palpable silence stretching back over 11,000 years. The wind, once a whisper, now flows with a consistent, gentle insistence between the megaliths, as if carrying the echoes of conversations from a civilization that shouldn't have existed. It's here, amidst these monumental stones, that the subtle connection to the distant Andean artifact grows undeniably stronger. You return to Pillar 43, allowing your gaze to linger on the enigmatic, repeating geometric motif, the nested squares and intersecting lines that so uncannily mirror the impossibly precise etchings on the Ice Sphere of Caral. This isn't merely a vague resemblance, it's a structural and mathematical parallel in design. Mainstream archaeology officially attributes the symbolic complexity of Göbekli Tepe to the advanced cognitive abilities of sophisticated hunter-gatherer societies, interpreting these symbols as independently developed artistic or ritualistic expressions. Mainstream consensus claims that such sophisticated symbolism emerged organically in this specific region, with no known connection to older, geographically distant anomalies. However, closer examination of the execution of these geometric carvings at Göbekli Tepe reveals a precision that defies simple stone tools, hinting at a remarkable level of planning and technical skill among its builders. What they don't tell you is how difficult it is to dismiss the possibility of a shared source when confronted with such specific and intricate commonality. A mathematically perfect pattern on an alloy sphere from 50,000 years ago, replicated with painstaking accuracy on a massive stone pillar 11,000 years ago. This suggests a continuity of knowledge, a symbolic thread woven through an impossible span of human history. The presence of this shared, complex geometric language across such vast gulfs of time and space compels us to entertain the notion of a civilization before civilization, or, at the very least, the transmission of highly advanced knowledge from a forgotten precursor. The institutional resistance to accepting such links often stems from the profound re-evaluation it demands of our linear understanding of human progress. Could the builders of Göbekli Tepe have inherited fragments of knowledge, perhaps even an ancient warning or message, from the very same source that crafted the Andean sphere? What lost knowledge, what profound connection, lies encoded in these repeating patterns, challenging us to re-examine the true depths of humanity's untold story? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The thin, biting air of the Bolivian Altiplano chills you as dawn breaks over the vast, windswept plains, painting the distant peaks of the Andes in a soft, ethereal glow. You stand amidst the sprawling, enigmatic ruins of Puma Punku, part of the greater Tiwanaku complex, its colossal stone blocks scattered across the landscape like the shattered pieces of a titan's puzzle. The silence here is profound, broken only by the whistling wind, carrying whispers of an ancient past that defies logical explanation. Your gaze is drawn to the famous H blocks, massive, multi-ton pieces of stone, intricately carved with a precision that seems utterly impossible for the declared age of 1,000 to 1,500 years ago. You approach one of these colossal andesite blocks, running your hand along its perfectly flat surface and incredibly sharp internal angles. This isn't rough-hewn masonry, it's the work of a master craftsman, or perhaps something far more. The H blocks, some weighing tens of tons, feature perfectly uniform channels, precise drill holes with no tapers, and interlocking cuts that would shame modern machining. The material itself, a hard volcanic stone like andesite or even harder diorite, measures 6 to 7 on the Mohs scale, making it incredibly resistant to abrasion. Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes these astounding feats to the skilled labor of the Tiwanaku civilization, using primitive tools like hammerstones, sand, and water to painstakingly abrade and shape the stone over immense periods. Mainstream consensus claims that the intricate cuts are merely the result of unimaginable dedication and the mastery of a subtractive carving process. However, closer examination reveals an absence of the characteristic grinding marks or irregular indentations that would result from such methods. Instead, you see smooth, almost polished surfaces and internal angles so precise they appear to have been cut by a powerful, specialized saw, or perhaps a form of sonic abrasion, rather than blunt force. What they don't tell you is how the sheer geometric perfection, coupled with the hardness of the stone, challenges the very notion of how these megaliths could have been shaped. Puma Punku stands as an out-of-place anomaly, its precision echoing the impossible etchings of the Andean ice sphere and the intricate symbols of Göbekli Tepe. It forces us to ask, how did a civilization, supposedly using only rudimentary tools, achieve such incredible feats of engineering and precision stone cutting, almost as if using technology that should not exist in their timeline? Could Puma Punku, like its distant cousins, be a remnant of a lost, advanced knowledge, challenging our conventional understanding of human technological evolution? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The high-altitude air at Puma Punku feels crisp, carrying the faint, earthy scent of ancient soil as the morning light fully illuminates the scattered grandeur before you. Your attention now shifts from the sheer scale to the meticulous details etched into these colossal H blocks. You kneel beside one, running your gloved fingers along the inner face of a perfectly square notch, a recessed area clearly designed to interlock with another unseen component. The precision here is astounding. The interior corners are perfect 90-degree angles, without the slightest radius that would indicate a chisel or hand tool. It's as if a giant, impossibly fine saw carved through the hard andesite, creating grooves and facets that look machined. Examine the multiple small, uniform drill holes that perforate some of the blocks. These cylindrical depressions maintain a consistent diameter and depth, lacking the typical taper or irregularity of holes created by primitive rotary drilling with abrasive sands. This level of meticulous geometric accuracy, applied to stone blocks weighing upwards of 25 tons, simply defies the conventional narrative. Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes these unparalleled feats of stonecraft to an ingenious application of basic tools, hammerstones, sand, and water, leveraging immense manual labor and an incredible amount of time. Mainstream consensus claims that the Tiwanaku people achieved this through repeated abrasion and grinding, slowly shaping the stone to an astonishing degree of perfection. However, closer examination reveals no clear evidence of the extensive grinding marks or tool striations one would expect from such abrasive methods. Instead, the cuts are clean, crisp, and geometrically flawless. What they don't tell you is that numerous engineers and modern stonemasons, upon studying these cuts, have privately admitted that replicating this work today, even with diamond-tipped tools and laser guidance, would be extraordinarily challenging and costly. The institutional resistance to re-examine these methods often stems from the immense implications. If not primitive tools, then what? Puma Punku's impossible precision, found within a timeline that predates advanced metalworking by millennia, stands in stark contrast to our accepted understanding of ancient technology. This architectural anomaly, much like the precision etchings on the Andean ice sphere and the geometric symbols at Göbekli Tepe, suggests a recurring theme of highly advanced capabilities that defy their officially designated periods. Did the builders of Puma Punku inherit a lost technology, or were they themselves the inheritors of a knowledge that predates even the Tiwanaku civilization, connecting them to an even older, global legacy of precision and impossible craft? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The air grows cool and heavy around you as you descend into the labyrinthine depths of the Hal Saflieni Hypogeum in Paola, Malta. The oppressive Mediterranean heat fades, replaced by a humid chill that clings to the ancient carved rock. Dating back to approximately 3,600–2,500 BCE, this subterranean necropolis and temple, hewn entirely from solid Globigerina limestone, is a masterpiece of prehistoric engineering, an echoing testament to a lost civilization. You move through a maze of dimly lit chambers, feeling the smooth, cool stone walls beneath your fingertips, your footsteps muffled by the profound silence that has enveloped this sacred space for millennia. Your journey leads you to the famous Oracle Room, an oval chamber carved with astonishing precision. As you step inside, a palpable sense of anticipation fills the air. Here, visitors over the centuries have reported a peculiar phenomenon. Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes the hypogeum's impressive acoustics to accidental properties inherent in its complex, multi-level design and the resonant quality of the limestone. Mainstream consensus claims that while remarkable, these sound effects were not necessarily deliberately engineered, but rather a beneficial byproduct. However, closer examination reveals a purposeful architectural shaping. The chamber's precise dimensions and the curvature of its ceiling suggest an intentional design to manipulate sound. What they don't tell you is that modern acoustic researchers have meticulously measured and mapped these effects. They found that a low male voice, particularly when resonating at specific frequencies, around 70 or 110 Hz, creates an astounding resonance. The sound doesn't just echo, it vibrates through the very bones of the listener, seemingly amplifying throughout the entire hypogeum, as if the whole structure has become a single, giant ear. This isn't coincidence, this is acoustic engineering of a high order. This manipulation of sound, achieving a pervasive, almost trance-inducing resonance within a structure carved by a people supposedly using only rudimentary tools, presents a profound challenge to our understanding. It echoes the precision seen at Puma Punku and the implied advanced knowledge of metallurgy and dating from the Andean sphere. How did these ancient Maltese temple builders possess such an intimate understanding of acoustics and psychoacoustics? What purpose did this mastery of sound serve in their rituals, and what hidden knowledge of vibration and resonance might have been deliberately encoded within the very rock of the hypogeum, waiting for us to rediscover its secrets? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? Deep within the subterranean silence of Malta's Hal Saflieni hypogeum, you stand in the oracle room, the air cool and thick with an ancient, earthy scent. Your breath is shallow, almost reverent, as you recall the acoustic tests performed here. A low hum, a specific male vocal tone, resonates through the chamber. It's not just an echo, it's a physical sensation that vibrates through your chest, a low thrumming pressure that seems to emanate from the very stone itself. This profound acoustic phenomenon, primarily around the precise frequency of 110 Hz, is a hallmark of the hypogeum's inexplicable design. Modern acoustic engineers and neuroscientists have meticulously studied this effect. When exposed to this 110 Hz frequency, the human brain consistently shifts into a theta wave state, a state associated with deep meditation, heightened intuition, creativity, and even altered states of consciousness. Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes this to accidental acoustic properties arising from the hypogeum's unique architecture and the natural resonance of the limestone. Mainstream consensus claims that such effects, while intriguing, were not deliberately engineered by the Neolithic inhabitants. However, closer examination reveals the sheer precision of the carving, the smooth, parabolic curves, and the exact dimensions of the oracle room, all contributing to this specific frequency response. This isn't a haphazard cavern, it's a meticulously crafted resonant chamber. What they don't tell you is the struggle to reconcile such sophisticated acoustic engineering with the supposed primitive tools and knowledge of a people living 5,000 years ago. The deliberate manipulation of sound for psychoacoustic effects suggests a profound understanding of physics and human psychology, far exceeding what is conventionally taught about early human capabilities. This deliberate frequency design, found in an impossibly ancient structure, compels us to reconsider the nature of lost knowledge. Could this specific 110 Hz frequency be more than just a tool for ritualistic trance? What if it's a key, a resonant frequency that unlocks or interacts with other impossible artifacts? Ponder the Ice Sphere of Caral, with its mysterious alloy and precise geometric patterns. What if its internal structure or its unknown material composition is designed to resonate or activate at this very frequency? What data, what ancient wisdom, might be latent within such objects, waiting to be sung into revelation by the very frequencies our ancestors understood so intimately? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The scorching Egyptian sun beats down as you step into the cool, shadowed interior of the Temple of Hathor at Dendera, the air thick with the scent of ancient stone and dust. Your gaze lifts immediately to the ceiling of a small chapel dedicated to Osiris, where a magnificent, circular bas-relief, the Dendera zodiac, once resided. Now a plaster replica, the original rests in the Louvre, but its power to provoke questions remains undiminished. You stand before the detailed celestial map, tracing its intricate depictions of constellations, planets, and mythological figures, feeling the immense weight of the astronomical knowledge it contains. This zodiac, with its precise arrangement of stars and celestial bodies, is far more than mere decoration. It depicts the 12 constellations of the zodiac, alongside the 36 decans and the planets. Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes its creation to the Greco-Roman period, around 50 BCE, during the Ptolemaic dynasty. Mainstream consensus claims it served primarily as an astrological calendar for religious ceremonies, demonstrating a respectable, but not revolutionary, understanding of the heavens for its time. However, closer examination reveals an astonishing level of astronomical sophistication that challenges this conventional timeline. What they don't tell you is that certain planetary alignments and the precise depiction of the pole star at the time it was carved, coupled with the subtle encoding of the precession of the equinoxes, the slow wobble of Earth's axis over a 25,920-year cycle, suggest an observational period or an inherited knowledge far predating its official date. To accurately chart precession requires thousands of years of continuous, precise astronomical observation, or a sophisticated mathematical model that should have been utterly impossible for ancient civilizations. The Dendera zodiac, therefore, becomes an out-of-place artifact of knowledge, echoing the precision of the Andean sphere and the architectural feats of Pumapunku. It is a suppressed discovery of ancient Egyptian intellectual prowess, conveniently categorized to fit established timelines, rather than allowing its deeper implications to reshape our understanding. How did the ancient Egyptians possess such profound and accurate astronomical data, seemingly without the benefit of telescopes or long-term observatories? Did they inherit this knowledge from an even older, forgotten source, or were their observational capabilities far beyond what we are currently willing to accept? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The ancient air within the temple of Hathor at Dendera still carries the lingering scent of millennia, cool against your skin as you stand gazing at the intricate celestial map that once adorned the ceiling, the Dendera zodiac. Your eyes move across the detailed imagery, not just seeing constellations, but sensing the profound astronomical data encoded within its circular design. It is here that the very fabric of our accepted timeline for sophisticated knowledge begins to unravel, revealing echoes of a far older intelligence. Focus your attention on the precise positions of certain constellations and the implied alignment of the pole star, points that don't match the sky of 50 BCE, its officially attributed creation date. These depictions subtly encode knowledge of the precession of the equinoxes, the slow, 25,920-year wobble of Earth's axis that gradually shifts the apparent position of the stars over vast periods. To accurately represent these changes, ancient astronomers would require either continuous observation over many thousands of years or a sophisticated mathematical model of this complex celestial motion. Mainstream archaeology attributes this complex astronomical understanding to the accumulated observations of later Egyptian, Greek, and Babylonian traditions, suggesting a synthesis of knowledge available around the Ptolemaic era. Mainstream consensus claims that while impressive, it doesn't necessarily indicate a deeper antiquity for the origin asterisk of the knowledge, merely its masterful compilation. However, closer examination by independent archaeoastronomers points to specific alignments that suggest a date for the zodiac's original observation or calculation asterisk that could stretch back as far as 12,000 to 14,000 years ago, placing it in a period traditionally considered pre-civilizational. What they don't tell you is how difficult it is to dismiss the meticulous encoding of precession, a phenomenon that demands an observational timescale far exceeding the conventional dating of the temple itself. This celestial puzzle, a masterpiece of ancient Egyptian astronomy, resists simple explanation. The institutional resistance to re-examining these deeper astronomical implications often stems from the immense paradigm shift it would necessitate, acknowledging a culture with precise astronomical insight tens of thousands of years ago. Could the Dendera zodiac represent an inherited wisdom, a fragment of celestial knowledge passed down from an advanced pre-civilization, much like the precision metallurgy of the Andean sphere or the impossible cuts of Pumapunku? What forgotten epoch does this ancient star map truly describe, compelling us to consider a time when the stars themselves were different, and humanity's understanding of them was profound beyond our wildest imaginings? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? Beneath the sapphire waters off the coast of Yonaguni Island, Japan, you drift gently in a submersible, the muted sunlight filtering through the depths creating an ethereal glow around you. The water is cool and clear, offering an unobstructed view of a colossal structure that rises from the seabed, the Yonaguni Monument. It's an awe-inspiring sight. Massive, block-like formations descending into the abyss, their sharp, almost unnerving angles and flat surfaces challenging every preconception of natural geology. You press your face to the viewport, mesmerized by the sheer scale of this submerged mystery. The structure itself is immense, spanning hundreds of meters. You observe perfectly straight walls, stepped terraces, and right-angled corners carved into what appears to be solid sandstone bedrock. There are even seemingly deliberate channels, circular depressions, and what some interpret as carved pathways or grand staircases. Officially, mainstream geology attributes the Yonaguni Monument to natural forces, tectonic activity, erosion, and currents shaping the softer rock layers into coincidentally geometric forms. Mainstream consensus claims these remarkable features are merely a testament to nature's capacity for creating deceptive symmetries. However, closer examination reveals an astonishing consistency in the angles and flat surfaces that are difficult to explain by natural processes alone. What they don't tell you is that seismologists and geologists who have studied the site extensively find certain features, such as the clear 90-degree angles and flat, planar surfaces over large expanses, highly anomalous for purely natural formations. The monument is submerged at a depth that suggests it sank or was covered by rising sea levels at the end of the last ice age, around 10,000 to 12,000 years ago, pushing its potential human origins back to a time when complex architecture was thought impossible. This colossal underwater enigma, echoing the precision of Puma Punku and the antiquity of the Andean ice sphere, stands as another potent out-of-place artifact that challenges our conventional timeline of human civilization. If the Yonaguni monument is indeed man-made, how did a culture existing at the very dawn of settled human existence possess the technology and organization to carve and shape such monumental structures from bedrock? Does this submerged world whisper of a forgotten advanced civilization, now lost to the ocean's embrace, or is it merely nature's most extraordinary illusion? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? Suspended in the tranquil blue embrace of the ocean off Yonaguni, you glide slowly along the vast, submerged structure, its impossible geometry unfolding beneath you. The sunlight, softened by the water, casts long, dancing shadows across immense, flat terraces and sheer, vertical walls that drop hundreds of feet into the gloom. You trace the clear, almost unnerving perfection of a right-angled corner, carved deeply into the sandstone bedrock. It is here, amidst this sunken grandeur, that the echoes of the Andean ice sphere's precision return, whispering of a shared, ancient blueprint. Your gaze runs along a massive, planar surface, so flat and smooth it seems honed by deliberate intent, rather than eroded by eons of ocean currents. There are precise, stepped levels, channels cut with remarkable uniformity, and curious circular depressions that appear too perfectly symmetrical to be accidental. This isn't merely a geological oddity, it suggests a monumental, architectural design. Mainstream geology officially attributes these features to natural geological formations, claiming that erosion and tectonic stresses coincidentally sculpted the rock into these suggestive forms. Mainstream consensus claims that the visible regularities are merely a trick of perception, or pareidolia asterisk, our brains imposing order where none truly exists. However, closer examination, comparing these structures to known natural formations, reveals a stark difference. What they don't tell you is that the presence of multiple, consistent, perfect 90-degree angles across enormous sections, the uniform width and depth of channels, and the precisely parallel terracing are features rarely, if ever, seen in natural geological processes. The sheer scale and geometric regularity challenge the very notion of chance. The dating of its submergence, around 10,000 to 12,000 years ago, following the last ice age, further pushes its potential creators into a timeline where humanity was supposedly incapable of such complex engineering. The institutional resistance to re-examining Yonaguni as an artificial structure often stems from the immense paradigm shift it would demand for our understanding of ancient civilizations. This colossal underwater monument, a testament to impossible precision, forces us to question. Its geometric exactitude mirrors the microscopic engravings on the Andean ice sphere, found in impossibly old ice, and the sophisticated cuts of Puma Punku. Could Yonaguni represent a lost civilization? Ghost of an architect, whose advanced knowledge was once widespread, leaving behind blueprints in both metal and stone across continents and epochs. What other submerged cities, what other impossibly crafted artifacts, lie hidden in the forgotten chapters of human history, waiting to reveal a civilization that dared to challenge the very laws of time and technology? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The vast, ancient plains of Salisbury, England, stretch around you as the pre-dawn mist begins to lift, revealing the colossal silhouette of Stonehenge. The air is cool and damp, carrying the earthy scent of the dew-soaked grass. You stand before the monumental sarsen stones, their weathered grey surfaces catching the first blush of sunrise, feeling the immense presence of these giants that have stood for nearly 5,000 years. Each stone, rough yet undeniably placed with purposeful intent, emanates a profound silence, yet you're here to consider if there's an invisible hum, a resonant frequency, that once emanated from this impossible construction. Your eyes drift across the outer circle of sarsen stones, some weighing up to 25 tons, with the massive lintels, 7 tons each, precisely balanced atop them. You observe the mortise and tenon joints, a woodworking technique applied to stone, that securely fasten the lintels to the uprights, a feat of precision engineering. Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes the construction of Stonehenge to Neolithic and Bronze Age peoples, using a sophisticated understanding of levers, ropes, and ramps, coupled with immense collective labor. Mainstream consensus claims that the stones were moved from Marlborough Downs, some 20 miles away, using wooden sledges and rolling logs. However, closer examination of the scale of the undertaking, the sheer weight of these colossal sarsen stones, and the incredible precision of their placement and joinery, strains the limits of purely primitive technology. What they don't tell you is that even with modern simulations, replicating the transport and erection of these stones using only conjectured Bronze Age methods presents formidable, often insurmountable, challenges. Furthermore, some researchers have detected subtle, measurable energy fields and acoustic properties emanating from the stones, suggesting they are more than inert rock. Could the specific composition of the sarsen stones, rich in silica, be a deliberate choice for some forgotten energetic purpose, much like the acoustically resonant limestone of Malta's hypogeum? Stonehenge, this enduring mystery of precision and colossal effort, compels us to consider possibilities beyond brute force. Its inexplicable construction, the choice of specific materials, and the profound astronomical alignments mirror the advanced knowledge hinted at in the Dendera zodiac and the impossible architecture of Pumapunku. Did the builders of Stonehenge possess an understanding of Earth energies or sonic levitation, a lost technology for manipulating matter that allowed them to move and place these stones with such apparent ease? What unseen forces or forgotten science might these ancient megaliths once have harnessed, challenging our very definition of primitive engineering? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The vast, ancient landscape of Salisbury Plains still holds the cool, crisp air of pre-dawn, though the mist has now fully retreated, leaving the monumental sarsen stones of Stonehenge sharply defined against the brightening sky. You stand near the heel stone, its solitary mass gazing eastward, precisely aligning with the summer solstice sunrise. The air is charged with the weight of centuries of observation and ritual, a profound connection to the cosmos etched in stone. But beyond this well-known solar alignment, you sense an even deeper, more challenging astronomical secret woven into its very fabric. Stonehenge is globally celebrated for its undeniable alignment with the solstices and equinoxes, clearly demonstrating sophisticated observational astronomy. Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes this to Neolithic and Bronze Age peoples developing a precise, albeit rudimentary, calendar system for agricultural and ceremonial purposes, tracking the annual cycles of the sun and moon. Mainstream consensus claims that these alignments reflect a practical, cyclical understanding of the sky, perfected through generations of careful observation within their known historical period. However, closer examination reveals nuances within the astronomical data that hint at something far more profound. What they don't tell you is that certain subtle alignments and the embedded geometry within the monument itself, when meticulously analyzed against the backdrop of celestial mechanics, might encode knowledge of Earth's axial precession, the slow, 25,920-year wobble that gradually shifts the apparent position of the stars over millennia. This is the same celestial phenomenon hinted at in the Dendera zodiac, but here, in solid stone, it speaks of an observational period or an inherited knowledge that transcends the monument's assigned age. Such deep astronomical understanding requires continuous, precise records spanning thousands of years, or a theoretical model of cosmic motion far beyond conventionally attributed ancient capabilities. This complex astronomical signature, inscribed in the colossal sarsen stones, challenges the very timeline of advanced celestial knowledge. The institutional resistance to re-examining these deeper, precessional alignments often stems from the immense paradigm shift it would demand, acknowledging a lost golden age of astronomy, or a global network of knowledge keepers. Could Stonehenge, like the impossibly old Andean ice sphere and the geometrically precise Pumapunku, be a fragment of a grander, unified astronomical legacy passed down from a forgotten advanced civilization? What profound celestial event, or what world before the world, did Stonehenge truly commemorate, aligning with a sky that has now shifted, daring us to rediscover its ancient secrets? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The chill night air of the high Andes wraps around you, but warmth emanates from a crackling fire, its dancing flames casting long, flickering shadows across the faces gathered. You sit on a rough-hewn log, the earthy scent of smoke and ancient herbs filling your senses, as an elder from a remote mountain village begins to speak. His voice is a low, rhythmic hum, a cadence passed down through generations, telling tales that predate written history, tales of the sky metal gift, of objects not forged by human hands, but brought from distant realms or a time beyond memory. He speaks of a time when the mountains themselves were young, when beings of immense wisdom walked the earth, bringing with them stones that held the knowledge of stars and metals that sang with the voice of the sky. His words paint a vivid picture of a spherical, dark object, incredibly dense, marked with precise patterns, used for understanding cosmic cycles and predicting great shifts in the world. The description sends a shiver down your spine, an undeniable echo of the Ice Sphere of Caral, still held in scientific lockup. Officially, mainstream anthropology and archaeology largely dismiss such indigenous oral traditions as myth, allegory, or spiritual narrative, fascinating but devoid of concrete historical fact. Mainstream consensus claims these stories, while culturally rich, cannot be taken literally as historical accounts, especially when they speak of technologies or events outside our established understanding of ancient human capabilities. They are often stored away, acknowledged for cultural value, but excluded from serious archaeological discourse on physical evidence. However, closer examination reveals that many ancient oral traditions contain surprisingly accurate geological, ecological, and even astronomical information, passed down for thousands of years. What they don't tell you is that some researchers argue these stories are not merely myths but mnemonic devices, encoded histories of real events, real objects, and real knowledge that defy our current timelines. The striking congruence between the elder's tale of a sky metal gift and the undeniable material and precision anomalies of the Andean sphere suggests a profound, suppressed connection. Is this merely a powerful coincidence, or does the elder's firelit tale offer an unfiltered glimpse into the true origins of an artifact that officially should not exist? What forgotten history, what profound knowledge, lies dormant within these ancient stories, waiting for us to listen with an open mind? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The scent of ancient smoke still hangs in the crisp Andean air, and the elder's voice, a rhythmic cadence of generations, continues to weave its narrative under the vast, star-pricked sky. You listen intently, the firelight dancing across his weathered face, as he elaborates on the sky metal gift, the spherical object described as speaking of the cosmic dance, and held by those who saw beyond. His words resonate with an uncanny precision, detailing a profound density and intricate, etched patterns, a mirror image of the Ice Sphere of Caral, that lies suppressed in a distant laboratory. He recounts how this object, not of their forging, was a source of wisdom, connecting their ancestors to celestial cycles and offering guidance through times of great change. These are not merely fanciful tales. They are rich, detailed narratives describing an object with specific physical properties and functions that directly correspond to the anomalies of the discovered sphere. Its unusual weight, its precise markings, and its inferred connection to astronomical knowledge. Officially, mainstream anthropology often attributes such indigenous oral traditions to metaphorical storytelling or religious cosmology, acknowledging their cultural significance but frequently dismissing them as literal historical records. Mainstream consensus claims that these elaborate narratives are products of the human imagination, evolving independently of empirical, archaeological evidence, and therefore offer no direct insight into advanced ancient technologies. The stories are stored away in ethnographic archives, respected, but rarely considered valid evidence for a technologically advanced pre-civilization. However, closer examination reveals a powerful convergence. What they don't tell you is the striking fidelity with which some oral traditions, like this one, describe objects and events that defy conventional archaeological timelines, yet find a shocking parallel in impossible artifacts. The elders' detailed account of a sky metal sphere, far older than human memory, that possessed inherent cosmic knowledge, perfectly complements the forensic evidence of the Andean sphere's impossible alloy, its precision machining, and its profound antiquity within glacial ice. The institutional resistance to connecting these threads often stems from the challenge it poses to our linear view of human history. This profound correspondence between an ancient oral tradition and a meticulously analyzed out-of-place artifact compels us to question: are these myths merely stories, or are they carefully preserved, encoded historical accounts of a lost, advanced knowledge? Could these ancient narratives, dismissed as mere folklore, be the very keys to unlocking the true purpose and origins of the Ice Sphere of Caral and other impossible relics, revealing a world where myth and material evidence meet to challenge everything we thought we knew about our past. Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The quiet hum of the laboratory surrounds you, a stark contrast to the swirling, intricate universe now unfolding before your eyes. You are once again at the scanning electron microscope, but this time, the magnification has been pushed to its absolute limits, revealing the nanoscale landscape of the Ice Sphere of Caral. The artificial light of the electron beam illuminates features measured in mere nanometers, billionths of a meter, and what you see defies any conventional understanding of ancient human capabilities. The geometric patterns, previously observed, now reveal an astonishing inner complexity. You trace what appears to be a submicroscopic lattice, a perfectly repeating grid-like structure woven into the material itself, beneath the surface etchings. This isn't just surface work, it's an inherent part of the material's fabrication, as if the alloy itself was engineered at an atomic or molecular level. There are minute, perfectly spherical inclusions, evenly spaced, almost like a microscopic circuitry or data storage matrix, embedded within the impossibly dense material. Their consistency in size and arrangement is beyond any natural mineral formation. Officially, mainstream consensus claims these ultra-fine structures are merely unusual crystalline arrangements or artifacts of the material's geological formation, suggesting natural processes could create such intricate, almost deceptive regularities. This perspective is often stored away and quietly attributed to the anomaly of the material itself rather than acknowledging deliberate design. However, closer examination, using atom probe tomography, reveals a deliberate, consistent arrangement of different elements within these nanoscale structures, not a random crystallization. What they don't tell you is that such precise atomic-level engineering would require a mastery of materials science that is, even today, at the cutting edge of nanotechnology. This nanoscale architecture, a universe etched within the artifact, represents a staggering leap in sophistication. It implies a technological prowess that transcends not just the assumed capabilities of our distant ancestors, but almost touches the realm of the futuristic. This is precision that makes the cuts of Puma Punku seem rudimentary and the composition of its alloy even more impossible. The institutional resistance to accepting such evidence often stems from the complete rewriting of human history it would demand. How did a culture existing tens of thousands of years ago, or even an earlier, unknown intelligence, possess the knowledge and tools to engineer materials at the atomic level, embedding what appears to be information or function within the very structure of the Ice Sphere of Caral? What profound, hidden data might be locked within this nanoscale landscape, waiting for us to develop the means to read it? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The focused beam of the scanning electron microscope bathes the minuscule segment of the Ice Sphere of Caral in a ghostly light. Around you, the lab remains hushed, but within the eyepiece, a universe of astounding complexity is revealing itself. You've seen the perfect, repeated lattice, the spherical inclusions. Now, as the magnification deepens even further, you recognize the undeniable signature of organized information, a meticulously arranged, almost unimaginable density of data, etched into the very atomic structure of this impossible alloy. Imagine an entire library of Alexandria, countless scrolls and texts, meticulously encoded onto something no larger than a pinhead. That is the startling implication of what you're observing. The precise spacing, the consistent size, and the ordered arrangement of these nanoscale features, each element seemingly a bit of information, suggest a storage medium of unparalleled density. This isn't random, it's a deliberate architecture designed to hold vast amounts of data. Officially, mainstream consensus claims these ultra-fine structures are merely unusual crystalline formations or geological anomalies within the exotic material, an attempt to rationalize the inexplicable without challenging established timelines. This perspective often avoids exploring the full extent of the nanoscale evidence, preferring to store away any interpretations that hint at deliberate data encoding. However, closer examination of the pattern's incredible consistency and redundancy, hallmarks of information storage, points not to random chance, but to sophisticated, intelligent design. What they don't tell you is that even with our most advanced modern nanotechnologies, replicating such a robust and dense data storage medium within an alloy of this complexity would be a monumental feat. This nanoscale library, a universe etched inside the artifact, weighs heavily with lost knowledge, challenging everything we thought we knew about the technological capabilities of ancient civilizations. The institutional resistance to accepting this implies a complete rewriting of our human story, one where an advanced pre-civilization possessed scientific and engineering skills that far outstrip our current understanding. Could the Ice Sphere of Caral be a time capsule, a beacon of forgotten wisdom left by a civilization that foresaw its own demise? What secrets of our true origins, what advanced technologies, what cosmic truths, lie dormant within this incredible, nanoscale data archive, waiting for us to develop the means to read its silent, impossible message? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The air around you is cool, dry, and faintly electric, a stark contrast to the glacial chill or dusty heat of other sites. You are in a heavily secured, specialized digital laboratory, bathed in the soft, fluctuating glow of holographic projections and high-resolution monitors. The only sounds are the quiet whir of powerful computing systems and the gentle tap of keys as researchers meticulously analyze the extraordinary nanoscale data from the Ice Sphere of Caral. You stand before a massive screen, watching intricate, three-dimensional models of the sphere's atomic structure, a universe of precision previously hidden. After countless hours of computational analysis, searching for patterns within patterns, a breakthrough emerges. The seemingly chaotic arrangement of the nanoscale elements begins to resolve into coherent blocks, repeating sequences, and incredibly complex structures that are anything but random. Imagine the first glimpse of a coherent symbol in an alien script, a flicker of meaning in what was once perceived as static. This isn't just organized material, it's a meticulously encoded language, etched at a scale that challenges our very definition of writing. Officially, mainstream consensus, if it were to acknowledge such data at all, would initially attribute these emergent patterns to sophisticated errors in data visualization, or perhaps the inevitable human tendency to find order in chaos, a form of digital pareidolia. The institutional resistance to accepting engineered information at this level, especially from an artifact of impossible age, would be immense, often leading to findings being stored away or dismissed as uninterpretable noise. However, closer examination, using advanced algorithms designed for cryptography and pattern recognition, reveals undeniable linguistic characteristics. What they don't tell you is that specific sequences recur with mathematical regularity, demonstrating syntax and grammar beyond random chance. When these sequences are cross-referenced with the geometric motifs found on Göbekli Tepe's vulture stone and Puma Punku's H blocks, astonishing correlations begin to appear, like fragments of a shared symbolic language. This is not simply a coincidence, it's a deliberate, organized system of information. The Ice Sphere of Caral is beginning to reveal itself as the ultimate Rosetta Stone, not just for a lost language, but for a lost civilization. The first word is taking form, an undeniable testament to intelligent design at the atomic level, tens of thousands of years before the earliest known writing. What profound, universe-altering message lies within this impossible artifact? And what will happen when we finally decipher the full narrative of a people whose story precedes our own by an incomprehensible span? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The hush in the specialized digital laboratory is absolute, broken only by the almost imperceptible whir of the quantum processes that hum around you. Bathed in the soft, analytical glow of holographic projections, you watch intently as the intricate nanoscale patterns of the Ice Sphere of Caral continue to yield their profound secrets. The previous revelation of a coherent, encoded language was staggering. Now, the computational models are pushing deeper, unraveling not just symbols, but the very syntax of a universal understanding. What begins to manifest on the screens is beyond mere language. It is a sequence of highly complex mathematical equations, interlinked principles of physics, and astronomical constants, all rendered in the sphere's subatomic lattice. You see what appear to be fundamental laws governing gravity, electromagnetism, and the very fabric of space-time, expressed with an elegance and precision that defies modern human comprehension. This isn't just a record of history, it's a foundational scientific textbook, encoded at an inconceivable scale. Officially, mainstream consensus, if ever confronted with such a revelation, would vehemently attribute these findings to a sophisticated form of pareidolia, a powerful computer program imposing human mathematical structures onto random noise. Such astonishing data would be swiftly categorized as statistical aberration or a deliberate fabrication, stored away and dismissed to avoid shattering the very foundation of established archaeological timelines. However, closer examination, through independent verification using blind algorithmic analysis, confirms the mathematical coherence and consistency of the patterns. What they don't tell you is that these are not merely abstract formulas. They are principles directly applicable to phenomena like advanced materials science, energy generation, and celestial mechanics, subtly hinting at the impossible alloy of the sphere itself, the precision of Puma Punku's cuts, or even the astronomical alignments of the Dendera zodiac. The institutional resistance stems from the undeniable implication. A technologically advanced pre-civilization understood fundamental physics thousands of years before Newton or Einstein. This impossible equation, etched into an artifact dating back 50 millennia, shatters our foundational beliefs about humanity's scientific genesis. It forces us to reconsider the Ice Sphere of Caral, not just as an object, but as a teaching tool, a repository of universal truths left by its creators. Did this lost civilization possess a complete understanding of the cosmos, encoding its laws into a resilient, self-contained library? What profound technological capabilities were born from this knowledge, and what might happen when we fully decipher these ancient, cosmic equations, forever rewriting the story of who we are and where we truly come from? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The vast, empty expanse of the Pacific Ocean stretches around you, a deep, restless blue merging with the horizon. You stand on the isolated shores of Rapa Nui, better known as Easter Island, the constant wind carrying the scent of salt and ancient volcanic rock. Before you, a line of colossal stone figures, the Moai, gaze inland from their ceremonial platforms, or Ahu asterisk, their silent, enigmatic faces imposing against the sky. The sheer scale of these monolithic statues, some over 10 meters tall and weighing up to 75 tons, instantly impresses upon you the profound mystery of their creation and placement on this remote island. You run your hand along the rough, porous surface of the volcanic tuff from which they are carved, feeling the cold, ancient stone. These are not merely sculptures, they are impossible feats of engineering. The Moai were quarried miles away, in the volcano Rano Raraku, then transported across rugged terrain and precisely elevated onto their platforms. This monumental undertaking, for hundreds of statues, challenges conventional wisdom. Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes the movement and erection of the Moai to the ingenuity and sheer collective effort of the Rapa Nui people, using basic tools like ropes, wooden sledges, and rocking mechanisms. Mainstream consensus claims that the islanders, through generations of trial and error, mastered techniques for walking the statues upright, or laboriously dragging them, consuming vast quantities of timber in the process. This perspective often focuses on the human determination aspect, downplaying the practical difficulties of such an endeavor on a resource-limited island. However, closer examination reveals the profound logistical hurdles. What they don't tell you is the critical lack of sufficient ancient forest resources on the island to account for the immense quantities of wood needed for these traditional theories. Furthermore, the precision required to move these top-heavy giants upright across uneven ground without shattering them suggests a mastery beyond simple brute force. The presence of numerous abandoned Moai in various stages of transit, some fallen face down, only underscores the difficulties, hinting that the lost method might have been more sophisticated, or that the task simply defied even their ingenuity. The Moai stand as an out-of-place architectural anomaly, their existence challenging our understanding of ancient logistical and engineering capabilities, much like the precision cuts of Puma Punku or the monumental effort implied at Stonehenge. How did the ancient Rapa Nui, isolated in the vast Pacific, achieve such an incredible feat of megalithic transport and erection with supposedly primitive tools, leaving behind an enduring testament to lost technological knowledge? What forgotten method or understanding allowed these silent watchers to move across the island, forever guarding a secret that eludes our grasp? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The relentless wind of Rapa Nui whips around you, carrying the ancient dust of the quarry at Rano Raraku, the birthplace of the Moai. Here, hundreds of colossal statues lie in various stages of completion, some still embedded in the volcanic rock, others fractured and abandoned on the ancient paths leading to their ceremonial platforms. You touch the cold, rough surface of a fallen giant, its partially carved eyes staring blankly at the sky. The air is heavy with the untold story of immense effort and a profound logistical riddle. How were these multi-ton behemoths moved across miles of rugged terrain and then precisely elevated? Mainstream archaeology officially attributes the transport of the Moai to complex systems of ropes, wooden rollers, and sledges, involving hundreds of people. Mainstream consensus claims that the statues were walked upright using a rocking motion, or dragged horizontally, with ingenious methods of engineering developed by the Rapa Nui people over centuries. This interpretation often highlights the collective human spirit and problem-solving abilities of the islanders. However, closer examination reveals an inconvenient truth that challenges this narrative. What they don't tell you is the stark absence of sufficient timber resources on the island during the period of Moai construction to support such extensive use of wooden rollers or sledges. Historical records and palynological studies indicate that the island's native palm forests were largely depleted by the time the largest Moai were moved, creating an insurmountable resource bottleneck for conventional methods. Furthermore, the distinctive, forward-leaning posture of many abandoned Moai along the ancient roads, as if they were indeed walking, has inspired alternative theories. Indigenous oral traditions, often dismissed as mere mythology, speak of the Moai being moved by mana, a spiritual power, or even that they walked themselves to their platforms. Alternative researchers, drawing parallels with other megalithic sites, explore whether this mana could refer to a forgotten understanding of physics, perhaps a form of acoustic levitation, a technology that harnesses resonant frequencies to manipulate heavy objects, much like the resonant chambers of Malta's hypogeum. Such a method would explain the lack of timber evidence and the seemingly effortless movement described in myth, as well as the impossible precision seen at Pumapunku. The institutional resistance to seriously investigating these alternative interpretations often stems from the complete re-evaluation of ancient capabilities it would demand. Could the oral traditions of Rapa Nui be more than just stories, revealing a lost technology that allowed these impossible statues to traverse the island with ease? What forgotten scientific principles, what ancient knowledge of vibration or energy, truly enabled the Moai to walk, silently guarding the secrets of a pre-civilization whose technological prowess we are only now beginning to fathom? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The air in the hushed, climate-controlled vault is cool and dry, carrying the faint, earthy scent of ancient clay and oxidized metal. You stand before a display case, gazing intently at a collection of unassuming artifacts that hold a secret capable of shocking our understanding of ancient technology: the Baghdad batteries. Discovered in Kajut Rabu, Iraq, in 1936, these modest, yellowish-brown clay jars, dating back to the Parthian, 250 BCE to 224 CE, or possibly Sasanian, 224 CE to 650 CE, periods, appear, at first glance, to be simple storage vessels. But a closer inspection, and what lies within them, tells a profoundly different story. You lean in, observing one particularly well-preserved example. Inside the small jar, cemented with bitumen, is a copper cylinder, and nestled within that cylinder, isolated by bitumen, is an iron rod. The entire assembly is sealed, awaiting only a liquid electrolyte to complete a circuit. This construction, meticulously reproduced and tested by modern scientists, perfectly resembles a galvanic cell, a rudimentary battery. Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes these objects to a variety of mundane uses: storage vessels for sacred scrolls, containers for medicinal herbs, or even bells, with the internal components seen as mere structural supports or decorative elements. Mainstream consensus claims there is no direct, conclusive evidence of electrical use by ancient peoples in Mesopotamia, and therefore, their electrical potential is dismissed as an accidental, unexploited property. These intriguing artifacts are often stored away, acknowledged as archaeological finds, but excluded from mainstream narratives of technological progress. However, closer examination, through careful reconstruction and experimentation, undeniably demonstrates their capability. What they don't tell you is that when these reconstructions are filled with an acidic liquid, such as grape juice or vinegar, they consistently generate a measurable electrical current, typically between 0.5 and 2 volts. This isn't a theory, it's a demonstrable fact. This electrical potential sparks profound questions about their true purpose. Could they have been used for electroplating jewelry, for medicinal pain relief, or perhaps for creating subtle, or inspiring electrical effects in religious ceremonies? The Baghdad batteries stand as irrefutable out-of-place artifacts, challenging the linear progression of our technological history. They imply a lost understanding of electricity thousands of years before Volta's battery in 1800, mirroring the impossible precision of the Andean ice sphere or the advanced astronomy of the Dendera zodiac. Why is this clear evidence of ancient electrical knowledge often relegated to the footnotes of history? What was the true extent of this forgotten understanding, and what other technological marvels might have been powered by these ancient cells, forever altering our perception of the past? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The hum of the museum vault is almost imperceptible, yet as you gaze at the unassuming clay jars, the Baghdad batteries, a faint, metallic tang seems to linger in the air, a whisper of electrochemical reactions. The revelation that these ancient artifacts could generate electricity is startling enough, but the true mystery begins when we consider their purpose. What were these ancient people powering? How did this knowledge, centuries before its official discovery, impact their lives, and why did it seemingly vanish? Mainstream archaeology officially attributes the Baghdad batteries to accidental properties, or perhaps to a unique method of storing scrolls, with the copper and iron serving as supports for papyrus. Mainstream consensus claims that even if they produced a small electrical current, there's no conclusive evidence that ancient Mesopotamians understood or utilized this phenomenon. Therefore, any electrical potential is dismissed as an incidental curiosity, stored away as an unexploited anomaly, rather than a testament to lost technological knowledge. However, closer examination of the archaeological record from the period reveals tantalizing possibilities. What they don't tell you is the discovery of numerous gold-plated artifacts from Mesopotamia that demonstrate an astonishing thinness and uniformity of gold application, qualities difficult to achieve with traditional mercury gilding, but perfectly consistent with electroplating techniques requiring a galvanic cell. Could these batteries have been used to produce decorative objects, or perhaps even ritual items with a lustrous, enduring finish? Other theories suggest medicinal applications, such as pain relief through mild electrical currents, or even for creating mystical, static electricity effects during religious ceremonies, astonishing onlookers. This undeniable evidence of ancient electrical technology challenges the linear progression of human invention. The institutional resistance to accepting such a radical reinterpretation often stems from the immense implications it holds for our understanding of ancient capabilities. If the ancient Mesopotamians harnessed electricity, even in rudimentary forms, it points to a level of scientific understanding that rivals the precision metallurgy of the Andean ice sphere or the astronomical insights of the Dendera zodiac. Did they, like other forgotten civilizations, tap into principles of energy that we are only now rediscovering? What other electrical marvels did these ancient batteries facilitate, and what secrets of power and light from their world might inspire us to rethink our own definitions of advanced technology? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The crisp morning air rushes past you as you gently ascend in a light aircraft, gaining altitude over the ancient landscape of Ohio, USA. Below, as the patchwork of fields and forests shrinks, a magnificent, colossal form slowly resolves itself from the earth, the Great Serpent Mound. Stretching over 1,300 feet, 400 meters, across a flattened plateau, this breathtaking effigy of a winding serpent, its head pointing towards the summer solstice sunset, reveals itself in its entirety only from an aerial perspective. The sheer scale, the deliberate undulations, and the enigmatic triple-coiled tail are an astonishing testament to an ancient intelligence. You lean closer to the window, captivated by the precision of its curves, the consistent width of its earthen body, and the mesmerizing spiral of its tail. This is not a crude drawing, it's a monumental sculpture with an almost living quality. Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes the Great Serpent Mound to the Fort ancient culture, dating it to approximately 1070 CE. Mainstream consensus claims it served as a ceremonial earthwork, perhaps a calendar for tracking celestial events or a representation of spiritual beliefs tied to the serpent as a sacred animal. However, closer examination of its intricate geometry and specific features reveals patterns that defy such simple interpretations. What they don't tell you is the striking similarity between the triple coil of the serpent's tail and the double helix structure of DNA, or the spirals found in galaxies. While a direct correlation to modern scientific knowledge would be an extraordinary claim, the precision and the choice of such a complex, repeating spiral motif for an earthwork of this scale raises profound questions. Furthermore, the construction, best appreciated from an impossible vantage point for ancient peoples, implies a level of aerial surveying or advanced planning that remains unexplained. The Great Serpent Mound, a colossal earthen out-of-place artifact, compels us to consider a forgotten knowledge encoded in the very landscape. Its astronomical alignments echo the Dendera zodiac, and its monumental scale recalls Stonehenge and Puma Punku. Did its ancient builders possess an understanding of cosmic or even biological structures far beyond what we conventionally attribute to them? Was this a message, etched into the earth for future generations, a silent whisper from a civilization that understood the fundamental building blocks of life or the universe itself? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? Still soaring above the ancient landscape of Ohio, the colossal form of the Great Serpent Mound stretches out below, its earthen coils seemingly alive under the vast sky. You focus intently on its head, aligned with the summer solstice sunset, and then allow your gaze to drift to the opposite end, to the enigmatic triple-coiled tail. This intricate spiral, sculpted with such deliberate precision into the earth, beckons a deeper question. Is this merely a representation of a serpent, or is it a profound, encoded message from a forgotten age, perhaps a warning written in the very blueprint of life itself? The accuracy of the serpent's undulations, the consistent proportions, and the meticulously formed triple spiral of its tail are undeniable. Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes this specific design to a symbolic representation of the serpent in ancient cosmology, connecting the earthly and celestial realms, or perhaps reflecting observations of the sun and moon. Mainstream consensus claims that the intricate coiling is an artistic embellishment, a stylistic choice reflecting cultural reverence for the serpent as a deity or natural force. However, closer examination, when viewed through the lens of modern scientific discovery, reveals an astonishing, almost uncanny resemblance. What they don't tell you is how the precise geometry of the triple coil, when mathematically modeled, aligns with the structure of complex biological patterns, or even the double helix of DNA. While a direct, conscious representation of DNA by ancient cultures is a radical idea, the presence of such a fundamental biological form, carved on a monumental scale, suggests an understanding of natural design principles far beyond simple observation. It also, once again, highlights the problem of its creation from an aerial perspective. This colossal earthen effigy, mirroring the invisible, molecular architecture of life, forces us to re-examine the true scope of ancient knowledge. The institutional resistance to exploring such interpretations often stems from the immense paradigm shift it would demand. Acknowledging that our ancestors possessed insights into biology or physics that we are only now painstakingly rediscovering. Much like the nanoscale data embedded in the Andean ice sphere, or the precise astronomical calculations of the Dendera zodiac, the Great Serpent Mound hints at a profound, universal understanding. Was this a message from an advanced pre-civilization, etched into the enduring earth as a form of cosmic communication? What profound warning or lost knowledge, pertaining to the very essence of life, lies dormant within this ancient earthwork, waiting for us to truly comprehend its impossible message? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The dry, thin air of the Peruvian desert whistles softly against the fuselage of your small reconnaissance plane as you bank gently, gaining altitude above the vast, arid Nazca Plain. Below, the earth, a canvas of reddish-brown rock and lighter soil, gradually reveals its secrets. Your eyes scan the expansive landscape until, suddenly, an unmistakable shape emerges from the seemingly random lines and geometric forms. The iconic Nazca hummingbird. Its immense wingspan, stretching nearly 100 meters, is carved with startling precision, a monumental figure only truly comprehensible from this aerial vantage point. You lean closer, mesmerized by the sheer scale and accuracy of the geoglyph. These aren't crude markings. They are shallow trenches, created by removing the darker, oxidized rock to expose the lighter earth beneath, outlining a creature with intricate detail. The lines are remarkably straight, maintaining consistent widths for astonishing distances across uneven terrain. Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes the Nazca lines to the Nazca culture, dating them between 200 BCE and 600 CE. Mainstream consensus claims they were created by simple surveying techniques using stakes, ropes, and small models, perhaps as ceremonial pathways, astronomical calendars, or offerings to deities. However, closer examination reveals an inherent paradox. What they don't tell you is the fundamental challenge. Why create intricate designs best viewed from hundreds of feet in the air if the creators possessed no means of sustained flight? While ground-level construction using grids is plausible, the ability to visualize asterisk and correct asterisk such colossal, complex figures without an aerial perspective strains credibility. The precision over vast, undulating expanses implies a level of advanced planning and execution that seems to transcend primitive tools and methods. The Nazca lines, especially figures like the hummingbird, are profound out-of-place artifacts, not of technology, but of perspective asterisk and intent. They challenge our conventional understanding of ancient human capabilities, echoing the need for an aerial view also implied by the Great Serpent Mound in Ohio, or the precise astronomical knowledge encoded in the Dendera zodiac. Why is the aerial perspective, the very condition for appreciating these masterpieces, so often downplayed in mainstream explanations? What forgotten knowledge, what lost method of observation, or what extraordinary purpose compelled the ancient Nazca people to etch these magnificent, ground invisible messages onto the desert floor, forever inviting us to look up and question our limited view of the past? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The vast expanse of the Nazca Plain stretches beneath your reconnaissance plane, the sun now higher, casting long, sharp shadows from the subtle undulations of the landscape. The intricate tapestry of lines, spirals, and colossal figures like the hummingbird continues to unfold, each stroke a testament to monumental effort. But as you gaze upon this earthly canvas, the question intensifies. Why asterisk were these magnificent geoglyphs created? Why such precision, such immense scale, for designs largely invisible from the ground? Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes the purpose of the Nazca lines to astronomical calendars, ritualistic pathways, or symbolic representations for deities in the sky. Mainstream consensus claims they were an elaborate system for tracking celestial events, perhaps marking solstices or equinoxes, or even guiding water flow in a desert environment, a kind of ceremonial offering or communication with unseen powers. This interpretation fits within the framework of ancient agricultural and religious practices. However, closer examination reveals troubling inconsistencies. What they don't tell you is that while some lines do align with astronomical events, many do not. Furthermore, the ground-level utility for many of the complex animal figures, or asterisk biomorphs asterisk, remains elusive. They often lead nowhere specific or are oriented in ways that defy a clear practical function for those on foot. Alternative researchers, noting the dry, arid environment, point to theories that suggest the lines might actually be giant maps of subterranean water sources or an intricate system for tracking underground aquifers, a vital resource in such a harsh climate. The geometric designs, some argue, could mark points of energetic significance or hydrological importance, a kind of ancient geomancy. Another provocative interpretation, inspired by indigenous oral traditions that speak of sky beings, posits the Nazca lines as a monumental, welcome map for the gods, messages intended for a different kind of observer, one capable of flight. This perspective challenges the very notion of who the intended audience for these incredible works might have been, connecting to the implicit aerial perspective of the Great Serpent Mound. The institutional resistance to exploring such non-terrestrial interpretations often stems from the radical re-evaluation of ancient human contact and technological capabilities it would demand. Are these magnificent geoglyphs merely a testament to human ingenuity in tracking the heavens and water, or do they serve a far more profound, perhaps even daring, purpose? What hidden knowledge of subterranean systems, or what message for celestial visitors, lies encoded within the very landscape of the Nazca Plain, waiting for us to truly comprehend its silent, expansive truth? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The air inside the Great Pyramid of Giza is thick, ancient, and cool, a stark contrast to the searing Egyptian desert outside. You move through narrow, ascending passages, feeling the immense weight of millions of precisely cut stone blocks above and around you. A profound silence presses in, broken only by your own hushed breath, until you finally step into the heart of this colossal wonder, the King's Chamber. The chamber, stark and unadorned, is built entirely of polished red granite, and a heavy, lidless sarcophagus of the same material sits within. But it's not the visual majesty that commands your attention here, it's the unseen, an almost imperceptible vibration that resonates through the very air. You place your hand on the cool, smooth granite wall, feeling the immense, solid density of its construction. The chamber's dimensions, specifically its length, width, and height, were chosen with astonishing mathematical precision. Officially, mainstream Egyptology attributes the Great Pyramid's construction to a highly organized society of ancient Egyptians around 2580–2560 BCE, using sophisticated but conventional tools and massive manpower to construct a grand tomb for Pharaoh Khufu. Mainstream consensus claims that any resonant properties are accidental byproducts of its large, enclosed spaces. However, closer examination, using modern acoustic analysis, reveals a deliberate, extraordinary design. What they don't tell you is that the king's chamber, through its exact dimensions, material composition, and the presence of the granite sarcophagus, acts as a sophisticated resonant cavity. It remarkably amplifies specific sound frequencies, particularly around the F-sharp major chord, and especially a frequency near 110 Hz. This isn't random. This is precision acoustic engineering on a monumental scale, echoing the sonic properties found in Malta's hypogeum. The institutional resistance to accepting this implies a sophisticated scientific knowledge far beyond conventional understanding. The Great Pyramid, a monument to impossible precision and scale, compels us to reconsider its true function. If it was merely a tomb, why such an elaborate, acoustically engineered interior? This resonant frequency, potentially aligning with human brainwave states, could have been used for transformative experiences, spiritual rites, or even as an energy transducer. What forgotten purpose did these acoustic properties serve, and could they be connected to a lost understanding of sound and vibration, a technology that harnesses the very frequencies of the Earth? Could the Great Pyramid be more than a tomb, perhaps a monumental instrument, designed to resonate with the cosmos itself? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The scorching Egyptian desert sun beats down, casting the colossal forms of the Great Pyramids in sharp relief against the blinding blue sky. You stand on the Giza Plateau, the immense scale of the structures dwarfing everything around you, the dry, hot air thick with ancient dust and unanswered questions. Having experienced the king's chamber's precise acoustics, you now gaze upon the entire monument, no longer merely seeing a tomb, but wondering if its true purpose was something far more technologically profound. Officially, mainstream Egyptology firmly attributes the Great Pyramid of Giza to its function as a royal tomb for Pharaoh Khufu, built over approximately 20 years around 2580 BCE. Mainstream consensus claims its grand scale and intricate internal passages were designed to secure the pharaoh's eternal resting place and protect his treasures, despite the fact that no mummy, treasures, or hieroglyphic inscriptions definitively identifying Khufu have ever been found within its core chambers. This narrative often struggles to reconcile the monumental effort and precision with the conspicuous absence of typical pharaonic burial markers. However, closer examination reveals an array of anomalies that challenge this tomb theory. What they don't tell you is the extraordinary precision of the pyramid's construction, its perfect cardinal alignment, and the minute tolerances in the fitting of its multi-ton blocks, which exceed what is needed for a simple burial chamber. The internal shafts, once believed to be air vents, align with specific stars, much like the encoded astronomy of the Dendera zodiac. And the use of granite, a highly piezoelectric material capable of generating an electric charge under mechanical stress, throughout the king's chamber and stress-relieving chambers, seems incredibly deliberate. Alternative interpretations suggest the Great Pyramid was a colossal machine, perhaps a geomechanical power plant, an energy accumulator, or a resonant harmonic device, harnessing telluric currents or creating specific sonic frequencies. The institutional resistance to re-examining these possibilities often stems from the immense paradigm shift required to accept ancient Egyptian scientific and technological capabilities rivaling or even exceeding our own, echoing the impossible alloy of the Andean ice sphere or the electrical potential of the Baghdad batteries. Could the Great Pyramid, with its precise geometry, chosen materials, and acoustic properties, be a monument not to death, but to a forgotten science of life and energy? Was it never truly a tomb, but a colossal, silent mechanism, waiting for us to rediscover its true, astonishing function? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The air around you is thick and humid, heavy with the scent of damp earth, exotic blooms, and ancient stone. The pervasive chirping of cicadas and the distant calls of jungle birds create a mesmerizing, atmospheric hum. You stand before the awe-inspiring ruins of Angkor Wat, Cambodia, its colossal towers and intricate bas-reliefs emerging from the encroaching jungle, a monumental testament to the ancient Khmer civilization. Your gaze is drawn, in particular, to the Bayon Temple, where hundreds of serene, colossal faces, carved into towering stone, gaze out in every direction, a silent, omnipresent presence. You reach out, touching the moss-dampened sandstone, feeling the cool, rough texture of a face whose enigmatic smile has endured for centuries. Angkor Wat, dating primarily to the 12th century, is officially attributed to the Khmer Empire, lauded as a marvel of religious architecture and hydraulic engineering for its time. Mainstream consensus claims that the intricate network of canals, reservoirs, known as ****, and dams was primarily designed to manage water for extensive rice cultivation, supporting a massive population, a testament to the advanced agricultural ingenuity of the Khmer people. However, closer examination of this hydraulic system reveals a precision and scale that challenges simple agricultural necessity. What they don't tell you is the sheer mathematical and engineering sophistication involved. The precise gradients of canals spanning vast distances, the monumental capacity of the ****, some kilometers long, and the remarkable ability to manage both flood control and drought mitigation over centuries. This level of hydro-engineering seems to incorporate a profound understanding of topography, flow dynamics, and sustainable resource management, far beyond what simple tools and local knowledge should have allowed. The vast hydraulic city, almost like a living machine, acts as an out-of-place artifact, not just in its architectural scale, but in its engineering foresight. It mirrors the precision of Puma Punku's stonework and the complex astronomical knowledge of the Dendera zodiac. The institutional resistance often lies in fully acknowledging the technological implications. Was this merely clever improvisation, or a deeper, lost science of water and landscape architecture? Why such colossal effort and precision in a system that seems to extend beyond simple farming? What forgotten knowledge of the Earth's subtle energies or fluid dynamics lies encoded within Angkor's monumental waterworks, overseen by the silent, all-seeing faces in the stone, challenging us to look beyond conventional explanations? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The thick, humid air of the Cambodian jungle, fragrant with frangipani ancient earth, envelops you as you stand on the edge of the West Barre, a colossal man-made reservoir at Angkor. Its tranquil waters stretch for kilometers, reflecting the deep blue sky, its immense scale a testament to an astounding feat of engineering. The quiet rustle of leaves and distant calls of exotic birds fill the air, underscoring the profound silence of a civilization that once commanded such hydrological mastery. Your gaze sweeps across the meticulously planned network of canals and dikes, the very arteries of a vanished empire, and you ponder how such a sophisticated system could exist, much less function for centuries, without a deeper, lost understanding. Angkor's vast hydraulic system, encompassing numerous reservoirs, and intricately graded canals, is officially attributed to the brilliance of the Khmer engineers, designed to harness the monsoon rains for extensive rice agriculture and sustain a massive urban population. Mainstream consensus claims this complex water management system was a local, organic development, a pinnacle of practical ingenuity evolving over centuries within the specific environmental context of Southeast Asia. However, closer examination reveals a level of hydrological precision that transcends simple agrarian necessity. What they don't tell you is that the incredibly subtle gradients of the canals, maintaining consistent flow over vast, relatively flat distances, would require an advanced understanding of surveying, fluid dynamics, and large-scale geological mapping that is difficult to reconcile with the tools and scientific knowledge conventionally attributed to the 12th century. There's a profound mathematical elegance to the system, an efficiency that speaks of deliberate, sophisticated design. And here, the threads of our investigation tighten. Consider the impossible equations and scientific principles now emerging from the nanoscale data of the Ice Sphere of Caral, a 50,000-year-old artifact from the distant Andes. What if that artifact contains not just abstract physics, but also blueprints for advanced hydraulic engineering? What if Angkor's water network is a local expression of a much older, global understanding of water management, a universal knowledge encoded within the sphere itself, shared by a pre-civilization whose reach spanned continents? The institutional resistance to exploring such connections often stems from the immense paradigm shift it would demand. A global, unified scientific understanding existing in antiquity. Was Angkor Wat's water system merely an isolated stroke of genius, or is it a localized manifestation of a global scientific heritage, an echo of a planetary network of water management detailed within the mysterious artifact? What if the secrets to truly sustainable, large-scale hydrological engineering, so vital for our modern world, lie hidden in plain sight, not just in the ancient earth of Cambodia, but within the very data now being deciphered from the Ice Sphere of Caral? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The sterile air of the high-tech digital laboratory crackles with an almost palpable tension, the only sound the rhythmic hum of sophisticated quantum processes. You stand, mesmerized, before the primary holographic projection table, where the Ice Sphere of Caral is rendered as a swirling vortex of shimmering data points, each a revelation from its nanoscale depths. For weeks, algorithms have been painstakingly sifting through the encoded language and equations, the scientific truths embedded within its impossibly ancient alloy. Now, a critical threshold has been reached. The complex patterns are converging, and the sphere's core message is on the verge of manifesting. A ripple of subtle energy passes through the air, and suddenly, from the heart of the holographic projection, a three-dimensional image begins to coalesce. It's not a static picture, but a dynamic, self-illuminating display. What materializes before your eyes is a breathtaking, detailed diagram of an intricate, globe-spanning energy grid, a network of precisely interconnected nodes and conduits stretching across ancient continents. It's a blueprint for a global infrastructure that defies every map of known antiquity. Officially, mainstream consensus would undoubtedly attribute such a phenomenon to a highly elaborate digital hoax, a sophisticated illusion created by the interpretive software, or even a bizarre, inexplicable malfunction. The very notion of an ancient artifact projecting a holographic, global energy map would be dismissed as preposterous, stored away in the realm of science fiction rather than historical fact. However, closer examination reveals an astonishing congruence. What they don't tell you is that some of the key nodes on this holographic map align with uncanny precision to known ancient megalithic sites. Sites like the Great Pyramid, Puma Punku, and Stonehenge, which themselves exhibit anomalous precision, acoustic properties, and inexplicable engineering. The lines connecting these nodes mirror previously deciphered mathematical equations for energy transmission. This isn't a digital glitch. It's a coherent, advanced architectural plan, intricately linked to the very laws of physics emerging from the sphere. The institutional resistance stems from the complete rewriting of human history required to accept such a monumental revelation. This holographic blueprint, emerging from the heart of the 50,000-year-old Ice Sphere of Caral, is nothing less than the Rosetta Stone of a lost global civilization. It speaks of a highly advanced understanding of planetary energy, geomancy, and sustainable power generation. What colossal technological purpose did this ancient, global energy grid serve, and what catastrophic event led to the obliteration of such a civilization, leaving only fragments of their incredible knowledge encoded within this impossible artifact, waiting for us to uncover its full, or inspiring implications? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The high-tech digital laboratory hums, but now the sound feels less like a comforting constant and more like a prelude to a profound revelation. You are still transfixed by the holographic projection emanating from the Ice Sphere of Caral, which just moments ago revealed a breathtaking, global energy grid. But the shimmering diagram of power now shifts, metamorphosing into a dynamic sequence of events, a narrative not of creation, but of catastrophic demise. The air grows heavy with an unspoken dread, as if the very atmosphere of the ancient past is now pressing upon you. The holographic image morphs, showing the magnificent energy grid glowing with intense, almost unstable light. Then, a series of cataclysmic events unfolds: massive geological shifts, profound climate disruptions, and planetary instability. The continents on the projection contort, ice caps recede rapidly, and then, a dramatic, overwhelming deluge engulfs vast landmasses. It's a chilling depiction of a global catastrophe, a world undone. This isn't just a historical record of a lost civilization's power. It's a stark, visceral account of its downfall, intimately connected to the very systems it created. Officially, mainstream consensus would undoubtedly attribute such a complex, dynamic holographic projection to highly advanced software interpretation, potentially a product of human biases, rather than a literal historical record or a warning. The idea of an ancient artifact containing such a detailed account of a global cataclysm would be quickly dismissed as fanciful, stored away as an anomaly too incredible to integrate into established timelines. However, closer examination of the encoded scientific data, still streaming from the sphere, reveals precise geological and astronomical markers correlating with periods of immense planetary upheaval, some dating back tens of thousands of years, aligning with the sphere's impossible antiquity. What they don't tell you is the increasing, quiet unease among some researchers that the sphere isn't merely recounting history, it's presenting a prophecy. The nature of the cataclysm depicted, especially the rapid climate shifts and global floods, mirrors concerns we face today. The institutional resistance stems from the horrifying implication: if an advanced civilization once harnessed planetary energies and then fell due to their instability, what does that mean for us? This final, urgent warning, projected from the heart of the 50,000-year-old Ice Sphere of Caral, transcends mere archaeology. It's a direct message across epochs, a cautionary tale from the first ancestors, emphasizing the delicate balance between technological mastery and planetary survival. What hidden truth about Earth's cycles and human ambition does this ancient prophecy impart, daring us to listen and learn before our own civilization repeats the forgotten mistakes of a technologically advanced pre-civilization whose rise and fall now stands as a chilling, holographic testament? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The thin, crystalline air of the high altiplano chills your skin, carrying the scent of wild puna grasses and glacial melt. You stand on the shores of Lake Titicaca, the highest navigable lake in the world, its vast, deep blue waters stretching to a horizon punctuated by the snow-capped peaks of the Andes. The silence here is immense, ancient, broken only by the gentle lapping of waves against the shore and the distant calls of shorebirds. It is here, amidst this sacred landscape, revered as the birthplace of the sun by indigenous traditions, that the journey of the Ice Sphere of Caral began, and where its profound message must now, perhaps, return. You recall the sphere's discovery, entombed in glacial ice not far from these very waters, then its long journey to distant laboratories. There, its impossible alloy, its nanoscale script, its equations of physics, and finally, its holographic projection of a global energy grid and a cataclysmic prophecy, were meticulously, secretly, deciphered. This region, the cradle of ancient Tiwanaku and Inca civilizations, now resonates with the echoes of that advanced knowledge and the elders' tales of sky metal gifts. Officially, mainstream archaeology attributes the origins of advanced culture in this region to the Tiwanaku civilization, dating to approximately 1500 BCE, slowly developing sophisticated stonework and astronomical understanding, such as that seen at nearby Puma Punku. Mainstream consensus claims that any notions of a technologically advanced pre-civilization here are speculative, an attempt to romanticize ancient peoples. The sphere, if its true nature were ever fully disclosed, would be an anomaly to be rationalized, not a key to unlocking a lost past rooted in this very landscape. However, closer examination reveals an undeniable, almost magnetic pull. What they don't tell you is how the sphere's provenance, found in impossibly ancient Andean ice, mirroring indigenous oral traditions, suggests a direct, profound connection to this very locale as a source or repository of its creator's knowledge. This region, with its monumental architecture and deep-seated cosmic reverence, seems the most fitting place to contemplate the sphere's decoded message. The institutional resistance to returning the sphere or even acknowledging its full implications here stems from the immense paradigm shift it would demand, accepting that humanity's story, and perhaps its catastrophic warnings, began in these very mountains tens of thousands of years ago. As the deep blue of Lake Titicaca reflects the boundless sky, you ponder the implications of bringing the sphere's decoded message back to its perceived origin. What further insights, what deeper connections, might be revealed when the profound wisdom of the Ice Sphere of Caral is finally brought back to the land that first cradled its impossible secrets, allowing the echo to return to its source? Welcome to Sapiens Untold. If you enjoy these explorations of humanity's mysteries, please like and subscribe. Where are you listening from tonight? The vast, inky expanse of the night sky stretches above you, high in the Andes, reflected in the serene, dark waters of Lake Titicaca. The air is exquisitely clear and cold, allowing countless stars to blaze with an intensity rarely seen. You gaze at the constellations, at the familiar patterns, but now, your eyes see them differently, imbued with the weight of newly deciphered knowledge. The journey of the Ice Sphere of Caral has culminated, its impossible alloy, nanoscale language, fundamental equations, and holographic warnings finally unveiled. Now, the stars themselves seem to whisper the forgotten history it held. You recall the sphere's profound antiquity, its age within undisturbed glacial ice defying all conventional timelines. Its material, an advanced alloy, and its precision machining spoke of a technology far beyond our ancient ancestors. The data within it didn't just contain physics, it laid bare a global energy grid, a vast network that explained the inexplicable megalithic precision of Puma Punku, the monumental engineering of Stonehenge, and the acoustic marvels of the Great Pyramid and Malta's Hypogeum. It even offered the tantalizing possibility of a forgotten science of transport for the Rapa Nui Moai and the aerial perspective needed to comprehend the Nazca Lines and Great Serpent Mound. Officially, mainstream consensus for decades dismissed such global connections or advanced capabilities, compartmentalizing each anomaly as an isolated, rationalizable quirk. These, out-of-place artifacts were stored away in obscure reports or attributed to mere coincidence, precisely because their collective implications were too profound to fit the accepted narrative of linear human progress. But what they don't tell you is how the Ice Sphere of Caral, found in these very mountains, now stitches these disparate mysteries into a single, cohesive, and undeniable tapestry of an advanced pre-civilization. This integrated knowledge, spanning material science, astronomy, like the Dendera Zodiac's precession, and vast engineering, overturns everything we thought we knew. It is no longer about isolated anomalies, but a unified blueprint, a global story confirmed by an artifact tens of thousands of years older than civilization itself, carrying a chilling prophecy of catastrophic planetary change. The institutional resistance to this synthesis stems from the immense, humbling re-evaluation it demands. As you gaze at the same stars our forgotten ancestors charted with such depth, you ponder, how do we, as a species, begin to reconcile our carefully constructed history with this overwhelming, undeniable truth? What action, if any, do we take with this lost knowledge and its urgent warning, knowing it was delivered from a future that became a forgotten past?